The Global Dressage Forum North America, the ultimate educational experience where champions meet.
DressageClinic.com. A world of knowledge at your fingertips.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States Dressage Federation, Mr. George Williams.
Thank you. And thank you, Noreen and Andreas. I'm very happy and very honored to be here on behalf of the USDF. I would like to talk to you a little bit about some of the issues that I see facing us in dressage in the United States today. Looking around us here today, it is a no-brainer that dressage is very alive and well in Florida. However, the challenges facing dressage in the rest of the United States can best be described as finding the right balance. Balance is a word we, as dressage riders, are very familiar with. We work hard to develop it on horseback. We need to work just as hard to find it off the horse as well. Sometimes it is simply a matter of finding a balance between self-interest and what is good for the sport. When you're here in Florida, there is so much, so close. It's easy to forget the geographical challenges dressage faces in this country. Don't forget, the United States is over 3 million square miles. That's a lot of dressage arenas. The rural population in America is shrinking. In 1910, 72% of the U.S. population was considered rural. 100 years later, in 2010, it was only 16%. When USDF started, it was 26%. While this may not directly impact the elite end of our sport, it significantly impacts the entry level, especially among the youth and those wishing to return to horses after they were introduced to it, perhaps as a child. Where 30 years ago, the majority of our members probably kept their horses at home, I would bet now a significant portion board their horses and ponies. Of course, it goes without saying, the urbanization of America affects breeders as well. Like our natural resources, which we must protect and make sustainable, we need to protect dressage for the future, and we must make it sustainable. There have always been very active pockets of dressage in the U.S. Up and down the whole East Coast, including Florida, there are large GMOs. And for my European friends in the audience, these are the dressage clubs which are members of the USDF. The other coast has activity, especially around San Francisco, L.A., and San Diego. The California Dressage Society is, in fact, the largest GMO in the USDF. The metropolitan areas around cities such as Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, Minneapolis, Seattle, and Cleveland were historically hubs of activity. Some of them still are, but others are, unfortunately, less active. In 2013, in the 2,900 miles between Saugerties and San Juan Capistrano, we have only 3 CDIs. Houston, Lexington, and Estes Park, Colorado. That is one for every 1,000 miles of the central part of the country. They actually range from 980 to 1,250 miles apart. There are 24 CDIs scheduled in the U.S. in 2013, with 12 of them, or half of them, in Florida alone. So what does this mean? Given the expanse of our country, it's now incumbent upon us to revitalize our GMOs so that we can sustain our sport. We also have to balance the entire rest of the country against everything that is happening in a single county in Florida. In many parts of the country, the local interest in dressage is possibly endangered by the lack of big-name trainers and competitors at the local shows caused by this migration to Palm Beach County. Don't get me wrong, this is an exciting place to be with the influx of new people, improved venues, and competitions like the one this past weekend. It is becoming more exciting every day, and I have to say it is very good for U.S. dressage. If we want to make dressage sustainable, though, we must make sure that dressage throughout the whole country has the opportunity to grow. If it does, it will create an even bigger pool from which Florida can draw dressage enthusiasts. But more importantly, it increases the size of the pool of potential talent and creates a bigger overall participation and market. So let me ask this question. How many of you are from Florida? And how many of you are from outside of Florida? Yeah. You are the group we need to grow. Along with our European Federation friends, we have been watching the dressage membership trends closely since the highs in 2007. While we can take a little solace in the fact Germany joins us, as we are not alone in our dip in membership, there can be little doubt that the recent economic recession was another variable which took a toll on the number of competitors at the lower levels. For example, in 2012, there were about 11,000 fewer training level rides across the country than in 2007. However, surprisingly, in 2012, we had the highest number of Grand Prix rides in the U.S. ever. Despite the decrease of the lower levels, the USDF has continued to process a similar number of awards each year. Here I go again, though. What does this possibly mean? Well, it could be interpreted to mean that competitors of all levels who have competition goals remain active in their membership. Now more than ever, we have to watch our market and develop a better understanding of the wants and needs of that market so we stay attuned to our membership. Other challenges where we have to find sustainability and a good balance include meeting the needs, expectations, and desires of both our adult amateurs as well as our professionals. In 2012, in the regional championship classes, where riders can choose between open, adult amateur, and junior young rider divisions, the open and adult amateur were similar in size, with 42 and 38% respectively of all the competitors competing in those divisions. Junior young rider entries made up the other 20%. And that is only counting those adult amateurs that compete. There is no doubt adult amateurs are a significant portion of our membership. A more than decade-long dream of several of us, the U.S. Dressage Finals will finally give adult amateurs a national spotlight. Similarly, we must balance the wants and needs of seniors, those over 21, versus those of the youth. This means the ability to recognize the need to inspire, entice, educate, and develop the next generation, while at the same time keeping the current generation interested and feeling fulfilled. And we have to continue to provide opportunities for our high-performance riders to excel while providing rewarding programs for the lower-level riders and the grassroots. As the saying goes, it takes a village, and cooperation between our national governing body, discipline affiliates like the USDF, and private enterprise. By offering the adult clinics, the latest series is being taught by Hilda Gurney. The junior young rider clinics, the USDF is addressing some of these concerns. We also need to continue to build our instructor certification program. This will benefit all riders and must become the accepted normal route of someone starting out as a professional. This program is a legacy of our sport, whether it is the instructors of adult amateurs or it is the coaches of elite athletes. and our juniors and young riders, everyone needs to feel comfortable that they are entrusting themselves and or their children to capable individuals. The much-discussed pipeline is becoming a reality. USDF and USEF programs are fitting together to create a path for riders and horses. We have a youth coach, we have a young horse coach, a developing coach, and a search for the new technical advisor, chef d'équipe, is about to begin. These programs will continue to need our attention and commitment to build and improve. This year, for the first time, the USDF is planning a young horse clinic as part of its sport horse prospect developing program. The Olympics give us a dream. Olympians provide inspiration, and at times both provide us with entertainment. But most of us are looking for education, training tips, advice as such as we will receive over these 2 days to help us enjoy riding, training, and just being with the ones we love, our horses. One of the reasons USDF started was because, and I will say it out loud, several felt our national federation did not want to hear what the grassroots dressage community of the time wanted to say. 10 years ago, it seemed the tables had turned, and the USDF wasn't necessarily hearing what the National Federation wanted to say. I'm pleased to report that within these past few years, we have forged a bond. USDF and USDF are having mutual dialogues to make my sport, your sport, our sport sustainable. Finding the right balance to keep dressage sustainable has to be our goal. Thank you.
Williams. Thank you, George Williams, President of the USDF.
The Global Dressage Forum North America, the ultimate educational experience where champions meet.
DressageClinic.com. A world of knowledge at your fingertips.